Hi, I'm Grandma Carmen and welcome to my kitchen. Today we will be making sugar-free, low-carb, no-bake strawberry cheesecake. So grab you a cup of coffee, sit back and relax and watch the show. Today we're visiting Cindy and Fabian, so we're using Cindy's kitchen. Go melt 1/3 cup butter in the microwave so we can get the pie crust done first for our no-bake, sugar-free strawberry cheesecake. Okay, so now we're back and I have melted approximately 1/3 of a cup of real butter, salted or unsalted, it doesn't matter. And with that, I have 2/3 cup of almond flour. Now at this step, you could use almond flour, you can use pecan flour, walnut, any kind of crushed nut meal, whatever your choice. Now, if you want it a little sweeter at this point, it's plenty sweet enough by itself, in my opinion. But if you want a little bit sweeter crust, go ahead and mix like 1 stevia packet or whatever your favorite non-calorie sweetener is. Could be mixed in at this point. But okay, from the background, I'm making this cheesecake special from Fabian, and he doesn't want the extra sweetener, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, so now we'll take that 1/3 cup of softened melted butter, and we're going to pour it in and mix it well with the almond flour or nut meal, whatever you're going to use. And that was 2/3 cup on the nut meal. So we're just going to stir this around real well until all the butter is absorbed into the meal. And get it all mixed up real good.
Taking notes, babe.
And I have a little added bonus for everybody. Down in the comments, there will be a link to my website. And on my website, there will be a free download of the written version of this recipe. And it'll be presented on a nice little decorative recipe card. You can download it to your device and save it, or print it out on cardstock, or however you want to do that. Now, this is all kind of mushed together now, and we're just going to pour this all into an 8-inch cake pan. Now, being I'm doing the cheesecake, and I want the cheesecake straight sides instead of beveled like a pie pan, I'm using a cake pan. And that'll give us a nice visual on the finished product so it looks more like an actual cheesecake. Now I'm just going to spread this out in the pan. Nice and gooey right now, but that's okay because this is all nice, yummy, delicious, and you need to make sure and use 100% real butter. Be careful with any of these soft butter spreads. They're usually mixed with canola oil, and canola oil is a big no-no. I was just listening to a YouTube interview earlier today with Dr. Saladino, and they were talking about the mitochondrial damage that seed oils do to our bodies. So anytime you can avoid any of the seed oils, it's really a darn good idea. So now once we get this spread out nicely in the bottom of the pan, then what we're going to do while we're mixing the filling is this is going to get popped into the freezer. We just want that butter to get hard as quick as possible so that it'll stay firm when we put the filling on top. So, okay, thank you, Cindy. And so Cindy's going to put that in the freezer for us. Now, actually, Cindy, could you also give, now we have here a half a cup of butter, and this is going to go into our cheesecake recipe. And Cindy, would you do your magic in the microwave with that? Thank you.
Same amount of time?
Yes, about 15 seconds or so, and we'll check and see how soft it is. Now, I'm going to open the cream cheese, which I've had sitting out long enough to get soft. Now, there's a little trick about cream cheese. When you go to blend cream cheese, oh, I got it. When you go to blend cream cheese to make a no-bake dessert like this, or even regular cheesecake, if your cream cheese is not soft enough, the fat molecules are too cold, and no amount of blending in the world is going to make them blend smoothly with your other ingredients. Yes, that looks good, Cindy. Thank you. Okay, see, Cindy just softened this up for us. Looks really good.
Good job, Cindy.
Because we want that soft and warm, a little bit warm, because that's going to mix in with the cream cheese first. Now, my cream cheese is still feeling a little cold, so I think I'm going to ask Cindy, I'm just going to pop it here in the glass bowl and break it into a couple pieces, because like I was saying, if this cream cheese isn't warm enough before we start, it's going to stay lumpy in our finished pie no matter what we do. The lumps will be small, but they'll be there. So, Cindy, would you give these just about 20 seconds, please?
20 seconds.
Yes, 20 seconds on the cream cheese should do it. Now, one of the secret ingredients to this recipe give us oodles of flavor. It may not be completely clean keto, but with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, sometimes you just have to mitigate the damages. So, sugar-free Jell-o is our sweetening and our flavor. We picked strawberry for this, but you could pick any flavor you want. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Yes, now that's nice and soft. Okay. So we're gonna... Okay, so... And now at this point too, if you have a hand mixer, stand mixer, whatever kind of mixer you have will work. I just love my Hamilton Beach stick blender, and it comes with the massive blender attachment and a nice whisk. But I think for today, with as thick as the cream cheese is, we're just going to go for the heavy duty blender. This one also has a low and high button on it. So I'm going to start here first by softening up this cream cheese a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Now we're going to whip, I'm just going to go ahead and start mixing the butter in. There again, remember, real butter. Margarine will not work in this recipe, or any of those weird little 50-50 spreads or anything like that. Must be the real deal. We will be adding 1 cup of sour cream and 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Not whipping cream, not half and half. Heavy whipping cream. Has to be heavy. And then we have a full cup of sour cream. Okay, look at this. This is getting nice and creamy. See how smooth and silky that looks. It's beautiful. Beautiful, creamy, silky. Look at that. Okay. Now, we will take the half a cup of heavy whipping cream.
Okay.
And with the mixer running, I'm going to slowly pour it in. I was trying to open it without spilling it everywhere. Boy, that one really snapped on good, didn't it?
Well, it didn't.
Okay, so now I'll be adding the heavy whipping cream slowly. Incorporating that whipping cream in, and everything's getting nice and fluffy. Then here in a minute, and actually if Cindy opened the box of Jell-o for me. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is looking so yummy. Oh, yeah. Now, oh look, boy, it's sure nice having an assistant.
Yes.
Wow, I could get used to this. Okay, now, we're going to take the little packet of sugar-free Jell-o straight out of the packet. Whatever you do, don't try and moisten this first. It'll be a fatal mistake. Trust me, I know this. So now, we're definitely going to drizzle this in on this a little slowly because we don't want lumps. And get a little bit mixed in, get it nice and so it's... We're getting a little bit of a late start on making this today, but generally I recommend refrigerating it at least 4 hours because that's just to give it the maximum time to set up and get real firm and gives the gelatin a little bit of a chance to absorb moisture out of the wet ingredients. Oh, but it's totally edible before 4 hours. 4 hours or more though just gives it a more cheesecake texture and firmness. So,
Put it in the freezer for
yeah. What we're gonna do, because we want it for dessert tonight after we eat here in a little bit, we're just gonna stick it in the freezer to speed up that process. We'll go ahead and get the crust out of the freezer because I'm sure it's set up enough by now to do what we want to do. Get this cleaned off. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Go. Now for the magic. Yeah, so just a few minutes in the freezer and this crust is totally firm because the butter firms it right back up and makes it nice and solid. Nothing ever has to be put in the oven or baked. It's totally no bake recipe. Now we'll put the filling in on top of that cold crust, which will help super chill the filling in a hurry as well. Now, spread this around. And look at that. Fit perfectly.
Wow.
Okay, gotta taste. It's definitely good enough to eat right now, but we're gonna save it to when we can eat it with a fork. Now here is our finished strawberry no-bake cheesecake with almond flour and butter crust. Now this will, generally I recommend chilling it in the refrigerator for 4 hours or until it's set and firm like a cheesecake. Okay, so now we're back. It's after dinner. The cheesecake is set up firmly, just beautifully. And so first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna slip the pie server, which is what I'm using, or you could use a butter knife. We just want to slip around the edges. And actually a hot butter knife may have worked better, but we did it anyway. There we go. Now we will slice and plate. Actually, it's still a little soft. Hasn't been 4 hours, but I didn't want it to freeze too hard in the freezer, so I took it out just before dinner to be on the safe side. The carbs per slice information will be in the written recipe available over at www.grandmacarmens.com. Okay, I always hate getting the first slice out.
There were so many different ways that the media assisted the Joe Biden campaign throughout his entire campaign once he won the nomination. Prior to winning the nomination, they weren't so sure, but then they all got on board. Whether that was hiding negative stories about Joe Biden, hiding positive stories.
Now, actually, if you have a springform pan, that's the best way to do this. But I was just showing how to do it with the pan that most people have available. And I just got a special request from Fabian here for 2 slices.
Ooh.
So,
That one came out
see,
nice.
look at how pretty those turned out. So, here's our finished product. And that is our low carb, sugar-free, no-bake strawberry cheesecake. Cindy's holding one of our favorite books, Lies My Doctor Told Me, by Dr. Ken Berry. If you haven't read this book yet, it's on Amazon. You can get it in print or on Kindle. Wow, that was fun. If you enjoyed this recipe and would like to be notified when I upload more, just hit that subscribe button and the bell icon below. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.